Hey everybody, welcome back to the Utterly Pointless channel. I was able to defeat Muse with this team, which I should not have been able to do even with this creature Muse Killer, which I added to have piercing dragon claws. So after an enemy gains a buff or minion, this creature will deal damage to all enemies equal to 30% of this creature's speed. So I didn't even customize the speed in here just to be able to get anything done spell casting wise, but it is a defensive one. You can just see how irritated and razzed I am. I just went through trying to slap this team together successfully to beat Muse, and it crashed about 27 minutes in. Fortunately, it did save my team once I went into the dungeon. So if you have any ideas that wind up being super crazy and super cool and super fun, might be good to jot them down or take a screenshot just in case. The app hasn't been crashing too much, but as of late, maybe it's because of the stable size or what have you, but it has just not been cool. There have been some surprising crashes. I've been trying to just withdraw all the artifacts from creatures not in a menagerie group, and it ends up crashing the game every time. So I'll probably be, again, working on getting some good stuff out of the stable and sending a few creatures to the great beyond. So what I was trying to focus on with this was that Muse Killer didn't even work. The whole team did defeat her, I believe because of Fermented Hops being in the shield here, and also the boots, I think. Nope, didn't even have that. Wow. So yeah, I was just building a whole bunch of random garbage, and surprisingly, this team beat Muse. What it is based on is pacing Death's Trail, so that your Unicorn Vivifiers will attack 4 times and randomly resurrect something. So between 2 of those Vivifiers with pacing Death's Trail, it's going to be awfully tough to keep this team down, though I believe it is just limited by the number of attacks per turn that a creature can do. So I think the default is 10, maybe 20 with a relic, which in this case is never ever used because of the specialization. So I don't really know how I did it here except through the anointments. I have Blood Caked Blade from Blood Mage. That deals additional damage equal to 25% of total damage taken. I did have Sanguine Fortitude to provide some sort of defense, but I'm thinking, all these creatures are going to be throwaways. If they get debuffed a ton, they can die, and then the unicorns can attack. And in attacking 4 times, they can resurrect pretty much everybody. I mean, if there's a 5th dead creature, then, tough luck for the moment. But anywho, that is the offense adjustment that I put in for the anointments. Again, I don't really want anything to not take damage because I do have 3 paladin anointments here. So I've got Retribution as the base. When your creatures take damage from an attack or spell, they deal damage to the enemy equal to 25% of the damage taken. And this can't exceed 300% of your creature's maximum health. So jumping back real quick to the artifact, I do have boss powers here with the Sparktail Courier. So when the Courier is attacked, it deals damage to all enemies equal to 30% of that damage taken. So this basically, again, is going to be a throwaway team. I've got the Omnipotent Deity here. So this will give extra stats that were missing from the relics from the omnipotent deity, due to additional health being provided here from boss powers. So almost puts things on an even footing. The relic boosts that I've got were really off the charts until I switched to this god-awful specialization, which I'm working through, I am glad to say. And then I've got the Angel Bat here, wonderful little exotic guild reward, and this is where after an ally attacks, possibly these three attacking 4 times on using Pacing Death's Trail, but there's a chance to resurrect one of the allies here with 50% health, so that will help make it a little bit easier for allies to die, and again trigger the unicorns to do full resurrects. And also I do have Breakdown and Cry as a trait here from the artifact, so I do have Fermented Hops, and funnily I have Feign Death, so hopefully that can fake the Breakdown and Cry trait here. So what I'd like it to do is just fire off Fermented Hops all the time. So there was one very glaring problem here with defeating Muse, and that's that the trait was a fused trait here, so it did not even figure in at all. I thought Muse was getting defeated quickly, but it turns out that it was most likely just her crucifixions getting reflected. So that was again where Paladin wound up helping out, and after Retribution there was also Execution Sentence. I've seen that do some kills. After your creatures are killed, they deal damage to all enemies equal to the amount of damage that they've dealt with Retribution in the current battle. So it's the gift that keeps on giving, especially with Blood-Caked Blade from Blood Mage. And then Crusade deals additional damage equal to 100% of the amount of damage they've dealt with Retribution in the current battle. So with Blood Mage enhancing that, that will just compound pretty nicely with just a few counterattacks here. So that is pretty much it for this team. Again, it's just a really gutted bunch of throwaways. Extra stats here, extra damage dealing back here, resurrection, resurrection, top of timeline, because the speed that our team has is just pathetic, with relics being turned off and no fused traits being able to get that up as well. So I have been unsocketing a lot of defense and attack spots in the artifacts, and just been going with speed here. Should be doing it here, but yeah, I've got no artifact here that would be a help now. But again, I have been just a little bit frustrated with this entire experience, clearing this. It's been tougher, I would say, than the Pariah build, where you've got 3 normal creatures, possibly avatars. This is just like, I would say just, pitting a, I mean, if the Pariah build was like a, a patrol boat, I mean, this thing would be like a long garbage barge, with seagulls all over it and flies, and it's just really a very unpleasant gaming experience. Um, Intentionally so, so it's nothing against the developers in providing this challenge, which I do appreciate, but it just is really, really unpleasant to go through, especially fighting these gods, because I only have, let's see, maybe what, 15? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so I'm halfway through at least. And I do have a spare mission I can use here. And I did use a couple of defense scrolls on the Sparktail, maybe? I don't know. One of the unicorns has some scrolls as well. I'll just go ahead and train for speed, because if you can't get anything in for an action, I mean, you can be able to destroy stuff on a single hit, but if you never step up the timeline, forget it. So hopefully the Unicorn Thundercracker here can get resurrected creatures right up to the top and really bypass any kind of need for speed there. So and that's pretty much it. So it is a kind of fake it till you make it sort of build. And let's see, I should probably just lower speed, I think, for enemies. So let me just get a new artifact going, and that'll be boots. So let's see. All right. So yeah, there's not much regarding goodies here for this artifact, and then I'll just convert stuff over as I need to. So there we go, and that should finally give me a reason to stop crying about the fights that I've been having. It's really been discouraging to go through as I have, but there we go. Everything is all set, artifact-wise, at least level-wise, and I'll just convert stuff right here. I go through so much granite and other stuff for brimstone alone, so let me just add some more power, and that should get me more than enough of what I need. So I'll keep on throwing speed on. So if I'm not at the top of the timeline from the unicorn, I will have speed at least affecting things in the artifact. So and maximum health is good, which allows you to deal more damage back. You can't deal more than 300% of your creature's max health with Retribution, so get that in there, and I'll just get cheesy here with Fermented Hops. And what I love about boots is there's a chance to cast a spell once a turn. You don't have to be attacking, you don't have to be defending. So I'll just get a couple more fermented hops here, and you should be noticing enemies in the next fight just getting whomped on out of thin air. So you just get this going, and really I can't sing the praises of this spell enough, because you can put it in with Shadowbringer, and you can also just put it in passively as an artifact gem, and you can always do a class change. Yeah, you can just set it to trigger on attack, defense, provoke, whatever. So we'll go ahead and just get those enchanted. Now, I'm not sure about boost spells and generous, if it actually does give any ally boost spells a chance to trigger randomly, if they even really count. So what I'm going to do is put healing in, and then just make that generous, and this will be an artifact spell, so I'll just put in a chance to cast twice, so that'll be pretty nasty. So this will put things on autopilot, and this is a little frustrating because you can't see what is inside a gem for enchantments, so it's just kind of trying to be organized here. So as you can see, these are the ones that weren't enchanted. So if you're just doing it helter-skelter and just randomly enchant something that's in your stockpile of gems, there's a good chance that you might be putting in a gem that is not enchanted in your artifact. So I'm just working right down the line here. Going to take a look and see who else can benefit with a fermented hops here. So everybody here is either sorcery or life classes. So I'll just get a class change in for this one, and there we go. And I've been kind of wondering about whether it's better to have any kind of casting twice versus having healing increased, but because you do have enemy defenses as well, so some of that will be lost going through on one cast or two. So the question is, how much more damage will be going through with additional healing. So I'll just put that back on as generous, and that, oops, that should be an artifact spell actually, because I don't want a class swap on that. So let's see, just oops. We'll do that and put both cast twice and healing increased by 53%. And let me see who this would be best for, and that would be best for a unicorn. So let's see. Because I do want this triggering on the 4 attacks that go off, so let me get that socketed in for one of the unicorns here. Okay, so good, I got hops in there already, and oops, there we go. Okay, I can put some more speed in. So when my team does attack, they'll be just trying to trigger fermented hops to damage everything. The amount of attack damage will be trivial. With all this emphasis on speed, it'll just be kind of being on a wing and a prayer, instead of getting any kind of attack damage done, because I found in this game, if you're just doing basic attacks without splashing, savage, what have you, then you're just going to wind up regretting it. So, there's spell potency already. I don't want damage reduction. I want all creatures to get hit quite a bit. I don't care about warded that much. I mean, this might be the best, but actually I'll try Rebirth. And let's see. There, I don't really want defense that much because I do want the creatures to just take a lot of damage. But I'll have at least one designated survivor here with a nice defense boost. And let's see. That's already all set. So I could be putting in an extra strong nether stone here. I'm just going to leave it as is and work on this here. So and it'll just be tons of speed. I don't care about defense. I want giant amounts of damage to come through and just get reflected back with Retribution, and then that way when these creatures do die, the unicorns can attack and reinvigorate things through that trait. So just keep at the old speed here, because yeah, when you do get Deprived as a specialization, you're just going to find that your creatures are really puny feeling, low defense, low attack, low intelligence, and it's just, ugh, it's icky. That is the way I could describe it. If you're playing Pariah, I mean, you'll feel like you have your back against the wall and your adrenaline is up, most likely, but you're able to cobble something together with an avatar, at least in that build. But for this, I mean, it's just like it's just like a business meeting for a bunch of mediocre people. But anyhow, just get the spell potency up here for the Angel Bat, and I'll just put Rebirth on damage, because I want these creatures all to basically pop back up like whack-a-moles. And let's see. Good trait that I could put in. Let's see. Kind of freestyling it here, so I'll go to the codex and look up traits. I wonder if Fermented Hops is a trait here. Nope. That would be fun. Oh. Let's see. I might just put down Breakdown and Cry again in there, so that way the Angel Bat will be able to cast Fermented Hops. And let's see. There we are. Okay. And there's another great spell that I'd like to have get cast, but what I'll do is I'll just make Fermented Hops that only spell, and with Breakdown and Cry, that will make the spell get cast, I believe, 3 times in a row. But we'll see. This will be fun if this creature does get killed and winds up casting Fermented Hops a whole bunch of times, with it being the only spell. So, oh, actually what I should do is put in some speed reduction. And I think Atonement does reduce speed too for a good life spell. Oops. Okay, let's see what we got. Yep, that's just what I need, so let me get that upgraded. And let's see. I love using the stat increase and decrease option here. And let's see, I'll just have it cast twice, and it'll be generous too, just to get a foothold in. I find that is necessary a lot in this specialization, but pretty much throughout the game you do need to at least pay a token amount of time to get speed down and just get on a better footing with the enemy, because they're just going to be unchecked and just throwing repetitious spells time and time at you. Also, one thing of note is that I took off the anointment singleton for that reason. I don't care now if enemies do get to attack and cast a lot and possibly throw one of the creatures that I've got into the grave, because the 2 unicorns will be reacting as well, and the creatures I have will be at the top of the timeline from the, I believe, Thundercracker. Let's take a look here. And sorry if I sound a little bit hoarse or a little bit emphysemic. My homemate finally quit smoking, so big props to him. I know it's difficult, so thank you, Bill. Much appreciated. And yeah, so the Thundercracker will be putting creatures that have a lot of Retribution and blood-soaked blade, I believe, damage, blood-caked blade, damage waiting to happen from an attack or a spell. So, as I've mentioned before, Fermented Hops does do a flat amount of maximum health-based damage of 35% if creatures already have blighted. So with Retribution, I think I may have seen it deal some extra damage, but I have seen some attacks in the tens of millions with this poor ragtag team fighting against Muse. So not too shabby, and I'm hoping something that I can put together into a coherent build. Oh, did I say that I just wanted to get rid of Singleton? Don't want to be a Singleton simpleton. But let's see, I can use some speed as well here in its place. I think this will be a nice counterbalance to stat reduction with Atonement. So yeah, I just want to take a peek and see how they are for speed here without any kind of enhancement. So there's 276k. I gotta get that adjusted. Yeah. I certainly do need to get some field items used as well, so I'm going to start seeing some nice stuff here with Tome of Timidness being applied. So just put this here. Because give us all the damage you can, buddy. I'm kind of worried. I'm only down to about 300 of these. But let's see. So that's good. And let me just check everybody's stats here. So 276. Not too shabby. This is a little bit weak, but this guy is just here for getting current health up. Getting stats up based on current health. So, actually, let's see. I'll just use Tome of Apathy here on Muse Killer, and that will have it have extra health, so it'll be able to reflect more damage back, and also it will take more damage, just like with the boss powers here. So this is something that I thought, was just not worth it, but this throwaway team I think will be benefiting quite a bit from that. So more max health, 50% more damage taken, and with a spark tail here, that'll be something enjoyable to see. So and our health in general will be left untouched, so at least until start of battle, where it gets 50% more. So I think I just had a little bit more socketing to do, and my throwaway team 1.2 here should be ready to roll. Let's see. So I'll just put Rebirth on. I think that will be the most helpful part of this, is just to be able to come back with a little bit more resilience. And let's see what we got. Yeah, this one looks fun. And let's see. I'll just throw another Fermented Hops in, just have to enchant that one, I think. And that should be it for Fermented Hops for a moment. Maybe there may be a spot or two, but I'm pretty much getting this all filled up. I'll just create a few more. And that way I'll do class changes if I need to. But very happy to have so much crystal here to enchant things with. I end up having this over brimstone most of the time. So all right, and let's see. Okay, so I got one, two. Okay. Kind of ADD here, forgive me, but get that to a life class, and I'll just put magnetic so it'll deal some additional damage. And I do want that to happen after attacking with the unicorn here, so there we are. Atonement's easy to put in, and false beliefs generous with defense penetration and additional damage like that. And what else we got? I could probably put a generous life orb in here if I had one. Let's see. I'd better save this just because, I mean, I don't want this to wind up crashing again. It hasn't really badly lately. I mean, maybe 4 crashes in hours and hours of playing, but there we go. Add some healing. Oops. Oh, shoot. Oh, I don't want to be doing that after... Well, yeah. Maybe I do want it to happen after defending so I don't wind up using it all up on the Pacing Death's Trails attacks that will trigger. I don't know. Yeah, I'll kind of use it as a throwaway. I mean, any other creature will have an ethereal copy that won't have those attributes on it, so let me get rid of that. Oops. Where was that? I must not have even been paying attention here. Don't mind me. Was I looking at Lifeline? That must have been it. Okay. So, let's see. Alright. Extra healing and chance to cast after attacking and generous. So, let's see. Okay. Oh, he's got Life Orb already. Huh. Yeah, I'll just add it. I'll just be a little redundant. What else? Divinity. Nope. Well, I will be having all these Fermented Hops triggering quite a bit and dealing blighted damage. So, and sticking blighted on creatures. So, what I'll do is I'll add Utopia, upgrade that, of course, and oh, I do have Vacuum. I forgot all about that. So, there we are. I love the generous property here. I mean, just to be able to give your entire team this stuff just in a pinch is awesome. I'll increase healing quite a bit, and I'll just put in a chance to defend here, so. Ooh, I forgot about Ruby Power, that's right. That will cast anybody's artifact spell gem, so I'll go ahead and enchant that up a little bit. Yeah, I forgot all about that. That was a guild reward, so I'll just do that, and there we are. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, so we'll go buff up the greater dispel gem that I got. So I've been just really moping a lot building this, but I'm going to kind of throw caution to the wind here and make this a greater dispel, and so make that generous. possibly cast after attacking just for this guy, and maybe give an extra chance to attack because I want Retribution to trigger. Oh, the Ancestor. Oh my god. Is this going to be worth it? Maybe. Let's see. Because the unicorns will be attacking like crazy when things die. I'm not quite sure how well things will be able to defend, but we'll see. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Do I have Ruby power as a generous thing? I do. Okay. Good. What's going on there? Is he immune? I'll have to put a greater dispel on. And there, now I've got, and I can't cast that, but looks like I can just attack here. But there we go. So I think Retribution was a big help there. Can see some speed gains. Yeah, so there's 1 million coming from execution sentence a couple of times roughly. So good. Nice to be able to just get some damage in even with this subpar team, which fortunately will be building up speed this time. And so there we go with getting everything blighted. Nice. Yeah, this is working a ton better. Oops, no. I don't want to fight any false gods with this to start with, but it'll be a good test run. So, and I should make a macro here, but there we go. Everything does have blighted, and now hopefully Fermented Hops ought to be doing something, but I'll just go with attacks. And as you can see, there's a lot of attacks based on a lot of extra damage from Retribution and Death Sentence and so on. So that's bonuses as well. Let me just double check here. Feign Death. Alright, leave that at the moment, but I'll just use Atonement, slow every enemy down, get their speed to a pathetic level, along with mine, and there we go. Ooh. Now we got some resurrections happening, hopefully here. There we go. And we'll have a whole bunch of angry teammates, so I'm just going to put in some random attacks, and I've got one of these guys doing some resurrections again, so kind of nerve-wracking, but youch. Ugh. Well, anyway, that's my mechanic. You can see there are some limits, and I think if you look at the history, you'll see that it wound up saying that my unicorns couldn't attack past a certain amount, so that does burn things up rather quickly. Yeah, there we are. You can see that Unicorn Thundercracker has attacked too many times. So that can't be, of course, augmented by Relic like 1,000 Needles that brings that up to 20 a turn. So I guess this winds up being, 2.5 resurrections, but maybe it's a bit much. Maybe Singleton might not be that bad of an idea, because I did have kind of a controlled burn going on. So just take off accumulation and limit it with Singleton. So we'll see if that will actually help me get through here. So it's fairly nice to have a random realm that's about the same level as any other. We'll take a look here. Wow. Yeah, that's working pretty well, and I'm not getting much grief back from enemies like I was in that previous fight. I just find Singleton to be a really, really awesome must-have anointment in 95% of my builds. So I'll just keep on getting to this false god here, and hopefully I can just use ruby power to knock things out fast. Let's see. Dr. K, Dr. Chaos Lord, aka Chaos Lord. I love these names. I'm still finding new ones even after a few thousand hours of playing. I think these guys are immune to Blighted, but let's take a look. There's one of these guys that winds up protecting everybody else, but we'll just do some attacks then if I have to, as we all take damage. So that's a fairly nasty amount of debuffs here that I should have dispelled with Greater Dispel. But there, let's see what got rid of everybody there. Wow, nice execution sentences, and with creatures here coming back, you know, you can deal tremendous amounts of damage, kill these creatures, and when they come back they will not be happy and half of them will be attacking 4 times at a time. So again, I'm just doing this as a controlled burn kind of thing. Not going to have enemies deal a huge amount of attacks and keep attacking and pushing everybody down the timeline ad nauseum. This will be just something where I can take a quick look, see what needs to be done, and then cast it instead of being in a completely horrible situation here. So there we go. Just double checking to make sure all my creatures are at the current level. I have a bad habit of doing that, pulling out like a level 27,000 to go with a level 38,000 or 39,000 almost, I guess, is what we're at now. So, and I'm not doing too much here spell wise, but let's see. Yeah, I think this guy or Junkyard Bot. Wow. Yeah, because the Paladin's stuff is really too meta for a robot to deflect, but when it comes to biologically related ailments like Blighted and so forth, yeah, there is some deflection of that, so I'll just keep on with Ruby Power here and see what I can do. Oops. I think that's just absolutely nuts that there's 30 charges to Ruby Power. I mean, it makes it downright abusable. Oop. Spoke too soon, but there we are. So, back to the drawing board a little bit, and I'll just have to toy around a little bit with things. I'll definitely leave execution sentence in there. Because I'm wondering too, to make this controlled, you know, as my creatures do take millions in damage, I guess maybe I should have it level off so that creatures won't take god-awful amounts toward the end. So what I'll do is just take out the, let's see, maybe take out Blood-Caked Blade and put in Sanguine Fortitude, so that way things will kind of taper off and we'll be able to go toe-to-toe a little bit more, especially with the singleton in there. So, but I'm starting to get to the point where I should be uploading something. I'll probably be at like 8 or 9 gigs, and all I've been doing lately is just jamming up this phone with gigantic Siralim videos, so I'll try to get this done before it crashes. Nice. So the thing with the Ancestor is that he will kill you if you're not defending by the time his head pops up on the timeline. Maybe I should have done something regarding that, but I can still use Fermented Hops here time after time. So just testing out the attacks here to see what they really are worth, and I don't know, let's see, maybe I can attack him and then have him do a whole bunch of additional damage. But that is one of the things that I do, is that I inflict a lot of damage on Spark Tails, and then they come back and really wreak havoc. So okay. All right. Yeah, one thing I don't want to do is have that Ancestor start at the top of the timeline and just basically fry everybody right off the bat. Hopefully that won't use up so much in the way of attacks that resurrect from the Unicorn Vivifiers with Pacing Death's Trail. But we'll see. They'll probably be up to some sort of nasty cheese, but hopefully, again, Singleton will be able to make things more controlled. Oof, that was brutal. But there's a bunch of resurrections on the way, and there we are. All right. Barely a scratch, which is pretty surprising with... Ooh. Magic Eater. Let's take a peek. So that's one of the boars, I guess, from Ganaris's crew. So it lowers intelligence and does silence when you attack. Yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can start out by causing damage to everything by attacking the spark tail. So well, nothing too major. It looks like I'm at a point where I can use ruby power and get blighted on, and I'll start getting some kills in here. There we go. So it just, to me, it really does seem that basic attacks in a build, unless you give them some thought, are weak. If you take a look, I mean, we're barely dealing like 2,000 here. So you just have to put a minimum amount of enhancement on these things, and you can start attacking with what you got. But let's see, Vince the Green. Ooh. Do it up, Vince. This will be interesting to see if I can actually defeat a false god here. I think I did in just a couple of seconds. I posted that a while back, just from using fermented hops and blighted and all. But this one's not turning out that bad either. So let's take a look at the history. Oh, Red Wedding. Yeah, that was them. Okay, well, I'll take it. The one thing about really getting into the game is that the more chances there are for enemies to have some really sick fusions. So this is one of the aspects that I'm fighting up here, and I think they have a pretty big chance to dodge. Just kind of a speed bump in this, but I'll just hopefully be able to finish things off with Utopia there, because they had blighted. And let me take a look at the amount of damage. About full health anyway, minus a little bit. So just, excuse me, so I'll just keep using ruby power here. Not take any chances on the way to the false god. And let's see. Oh, and I forgot I got vacuum as well. So, let's see. Oh yeah, chip off the block. Good. So Feign Death is good in getting some additional attacks on, possibly to get things to the top of the timeline. So I'll just use Feign Death here. And let me see if that wound up moving guys to the top of the timeline. Nope. All right. I've got some success at least with that. I'll just use Greater Dispel, get rid of the barriers here, and everything I think can benefit from Utopia. So I'll just flush everything twice, leaving just the gold golem. So that should do it. I'll try one more Utopia if I can. Nope. There we go. So I do have creature masters to deal with being at the current level, so hopefully I won't be flubbing that. I might just go fight the boss first and then hopefully have a chance at it. There we go. Of course I could be a real cheese bag and fight the creature master first, and then if I get killed I've still got that benefit added, and then whoever might be running through the next time would also fight a creature master. So but my buddy Big Brick needs some cigarettes, so I'd better go grab him. He made some dinner for me, so let's see. Just keep this all going here. Okay. There we go. Knocked his defense down with Atonement. Such a nice, vibrant level anyway. -5 intelligence. I want -5 speed here for these guys. Coming up the parts of the Ancestor, so. Ooh, stone, good. Speed and health, nice. Ooh, there we are. I love the amount of buffs that you get in this realm when you use the trees anyway, once you've leveled this realm up enough. And let's see. Alright, I'm just about ready to go, so I'll leave Mr. Golem to his devices. And there we are, attack modification, -5 for enemies. So yeah, do go for those trees when you get a chance. And oh boy, this is gonna make me cringe, but I will use Ruby Power, hopefully get blighted on these guys. As you can see, the head of the Ancestor is way, way, way down. I'll use Atonement to slow things down. Then I'll start using Fermented Hops. And how much damage was that? Let's take a look. Wow, 170 million. So if I can cast that 3 times, I think that should just about kill him. So I'll do Ruby Power here. Yikes, he's still kind of hanging on. As long as... Oh, beautiful. Just look at that. Wow. Well, nice. I think I've got this team where I need it to be. Let me grab these additional trees after, and I think I'm maxed out now. Beautiful. Oh, man, that was, like they used to say in the A-Team, I love it when a plan comes together. So, whew, wow, that was really great. And I've got a bonus anointment here to toy with, so it might even suit my team. Oh, awesome. I don't think I'll be acting too deprived anymore. It seems very important to have a balance here where your team does get resurrected after taking massive damage, but not the huge amounts that you would take from unchecked spellcasting and attacking without the singleton anointment equipped. So let me see what we got. This is anti-sorcery. Enemies always have bleeding. Designated survivor, 50% chance to avoid damage. I would have loved that in my pariah build. Intangibility. At the start of each enemy's turn, they have a 5% chance to be sent to the bottom of the timeline for each dead creature on your side. Masochism. Your creatures take 15% less damage for each dead creature on your side. After your creatures are resurrected, they deal damage to all enemies equal to 37.50% of their max health. Misery. After your creatures are killed, one of your other creatures casts Murder of Crows. Nice. And Transfusion. Oh wow! After one of your creatures takes damage and is not killed, one of your other creatures creatures gains maximum health equal to 25% of the damage taken. Sweet. That's nice. I've got this really balanced as is, so I think I will hold off on using that, but I think this would be really sick in a giant build, so I'll grab that first. And my heaping pile of treasure on the left. And there we go. Alright, I'm gonna go fight the creature master here if I can. Yep. Alright. Well, if I got some benefits out of atonement, I'll keep doing that. I'll just cast it all. This will be the last fight that I'll be going through here. I'll just use ruby power, get things blighted. There we go. Oh man, it feels good to be back. I just had a really rough run this morning with a whole bunch of crashes and just not getting any results, but it's all basic maintenance in this team. I've got them all leveled up to where they should be. I've got every single artifact part equipped. I've got Fermented Hops up the wazoo, both as an artifact gem and as a boost spell that I can still cast, especially with a cast on attack enchantment. So that worked out beautifully, and I think I might be getting some Gate of the Gods keys as a bonus. So let's see what I got. I'll just leave that golem probably. Let's see. Oh, that was just marvelous. I thought I was gonna wind up getting completely knocked out with this Deprived team, but anyway, speed does it apparently. Just bring your creatures back with a lot of speed so they can keep on using Retribution and so on. And let's see. There we go. Oh, I meant to see what I had for Gate of the Gods keys. If I can get a couple of extra fights in, that will be very sweet. So just be a few seconds while I do that. So I didn't have anything crash in here. Hooray. Oh man, this was so much better than when I was blowing 8 keys at a time at Gate of the Gods. I got nothing, so alrighty. Well, anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. This was more what I was trying for, just a great bunch of synergies, and I really wish I had not seen Piercing Dragon Claws as an active trait, because it gets turned off as part of Deprived, but just be mindful that all you can really do is use Netherstone traits, use your main trait, obviously, and your artifact. And any creatures that you have to pull out of your bestiary, just make sure, if they are fused, that you're ignoring the impact of that fused trait, because it's a very, very brutal, bleak environment fighting in Deprived. So if you have a chance, give it a try and let me know what you think of fighting in Deprived. It's just a real eye-opener that shows what a world of difference a good specialization and a good team can make. So I appreciate y'all, and maybe sometime I might do a premiere of this or a similar video, but it's definitely time to wrap up. It's probably 10 gigs. So until next time, hope this gave you guys some tips. Bye.